Formula One has even more crazy things going down over these next few weeks as we head into the new season in just a few months now. More news is coming out based around specific players, and people are waiting to hear the news. So what's going on in the world of Formula One? Well, stay tuned to today's video as we're going to discuss Williams revealing striking blue 2022 livery for their FW44 Challenger and some other new Formula One news. You won't want to miss this list. First up, we have Williams reveal striking blue 2022 livery for their FW44 Challenger. We're always getting new Formula One car reveals, but as we're about to head into the next Formula One season, we're getting even more. The most recent one that we've received is the Williams vehicle. This one has such a nice and bold blue livery for their new FW44 Challenger. What do you think about this one? Let us know down in the comment section below. Though we have seen this amazing livery, we don't actually know what's inside of this new car. It has some really nice red hints across its body, but we can't tell what's going on underneath its livery. They're taking an approach like many in Formula One nowadays, not saying anything about their vehicle apart from it being new and better than before. Looking forward, we want to build on this success, and the FW44 perfectly embodies these ambitions to return to the front of the grid. I look forward to witnessing this progression with Nicholas and Alex at the helm, Latifi added. I'm a fan of the new livery. Keeping the blue was important as it's synonymous with Williams racing, but it's a pattern we've not seen before, and the fluorescent red will pop on track, which I really like. It's a fresh new look to start off the new era of F1. I'm super excited for testing in Barcelona to get back behind the wheel, push, and see what the car can do. Preseason always feels like quite a long time, but it's been really busy and there's been a nice build-up at the factory with lots of hard work from everyone. This new car looks amazing. Hopefully it can perform super well with what's under the hood. And now, onto some other Formula One news. Next up, we have the new McLaren contract for Lando Norris, a $94 million problem for Daniel Ricciardo. It looks like something weird is going on within Formula One, as we now know that Lando Norris has signed a new contract that reportedly runs through the 2025 season. According to insiders, the deal should be worth about $94 million. The weird thing about this is that it's eerily similar to Daniel Ricciardo's deal. Ricciardo seems to have another 2 years on his contract, though we don't know if he finalized his 3-year deal instead. This means that at the earliest, Ricciardo should be available by the end of 2022 for another team to possibly pick him up. The problem right now with Ricciardo is that he needs to keep up with the competition. Over his past few races and the past few seasons, he hasn't done the best. Ricciardo is being compared to other and better performing drivers right now, which means that he needs to perform well in order to stay in the upper leagues. He really needs to show that his skill is still there, because otherwise, he might not get on a great team once his deal ends during this year or early next year. And now we have F1 engineers want Max Verstappen stripped of title and Michael Masi fired. As we all know at this point, not many people are happy about what went down during the final race of the latest Formula One season. We saw Lewis Hamilton about to break an all-time Formula One record and, of course, his own personal best, but it all came crumbling down when Max Verstappen won due to unforeseen circumstances and what people are calling a cheat move by Formula One themselves. Whatever the case may be, no one is really happy about the situation, and Lewis threatened to leave the sport as a whole due to the event. Recently, we saw comments being made about the Formula One engineers about what should be happening in the wake of such an event. It was such a historic moment in the making, but we got a different historic moment instead. From what we know, the Formula One engineers have some very strong opinions on this all. They believe that Max Verstappen should have his title from that race stripped and that Michael Masi should be fired. What do you think about this whole thing? Let us know down in the comments section below. And finally, we have F1 testing day 1. Charles Leclerc, Ferrari start testing in morning as 2022 revolution begins. The first day of the Formula One season has technically begun. While a race hasn't happened yet, testing is going on with the new cars. Ferrari recently tested their new cars in the first and fastest morning of the 2022 season. Technically, the season hasn't begun because we haven't seen an actual race, but testing means that things are underway with the creation and preparation for this upcoming 2022 Formula One season. The winter season that Formula One took off had lots of off-track drama and controversy going on, so getting a good head start on the 2022 season is best for morale and for the company as a whole. The leaderboard is constantly changing for Formula One as better and better times are being created. Leclerc finished the first driving session at the top. According to SkySports.com, his time, a 1 minute 20.165 second on medium tires, was around 4 seconds slower than last year's pole time at the Circuit de Catalunya, although the times will certainly ramp up with the new cars not expected to be that far off. Leclerc was 0.3 of a second faster than Lando Norris in the McLaren and fellow Brit George Russell in the Mercedes, with Russell enjoying during the morning session before handing over to Lewis Hamilton in the afternoon. Lewis Hamilton has been spotted around over the past few days. Many believed that he wouldn't return after the robbery of his last race during late 2021. Clearly, he wants to come back and finally break that record he was about to break late last year. Hopefully, things all go well for him as he truly deserves the award. This new Formula One season should introduce some really great things to the sport, especially when it comes to a performance for the audience. If a new rivalry would occur, that would also be a great and natural way to keep Formula One going. Red Bull have had most of the attention recently, but as more of the teams show up for the season preparation, we should get more news on the races. And that's the end of today's Formula One video. Formula One has had a lot going on these past few weeks. Though the season hasn't begun just yet, we are seeing more stories coming out about the improvements and looking to the future. The next few years of Formula One might just be its biggest yet. We're seeing great improvements in the cars and even more stories coming out about the drivers. It's going to be huge, so stay tuned for more information in the future. Even if its biggest hitters leave, like Lewis Hamilton, they're always getting in newer and newer talent that should become huge over the next few years. The sport desperately needs a new star, however, as many people are getting bored of the same 5 or 6 drivers being the only important ones in a race. They don't focus on any other drivers throughout the race because all the audience cares about are the top few. Hopefully, more drivers come into the sport and shake things up a little bit. The audience needs a change, and so does the sport. What do you think about all this? Let us know down below. We need something new in Formula One, and because of the way some of its legendary drivers are acting right now, we might see a switch around that starts up a new era of Formula One. For some, the sport is getting a little stale because of the limited number of drivers right now. We haven't seen much new insane talent reach our screens in Formula One in a long time. Once people like Lewis Hamilton or Max Verstappen leave the sport, Formula One will struggle for talent. Though the sport isn't going anywhere anytime soon, many believe we need some new faces to really display a new era of F1. What do you think about this side of Formula One? Should we get new faces in, and should a new era begin? Let us know down in the comment section below. Hopefully we can get some great feedback from you all. Hopefully you enjoyed this latest video, and if you did, would you please let us know down in the comment section below? It would be very helpful. And of course, subscribe to the channel with notification bell rung. Thank you for watching today's video. Bye.